The topic today is the 7 habits of highly effective people. These habits represent a truly proven process of personal and interpersonal growth that can have immediate or long-term impact in your life. They will also help you to live your life in a truly effective way. So welcome to the 7 habits of highly effective people. The first habit of highly effective people is being proactive. And when you're proactive, it simply means you take responsibility for your actions and all that happens to you. We shouldn't be blaming people, school, relatives, parents for our misfortunes, simply because when you're proactive, you choose your actions. And when you choose your actions, then you are responsible for the outcome. Let's compare the two people or the two scenarios. We have proactive, then we have reactive. When you are reactive, for example, your actions are dependent on feelings, how you feel today, moods, impulses, or even other people's treatment. Because they did to you A, so the reaction is B. So that is what we call being reactive. So when you are proactive, your actions are as a product of values and not feelings. It means you have a standard behavior or standard values that all your actions will depend on. They are also dependent on decisions and not conditions. So that means you choose your actions. You choose your responses. You do not depend on what is happening around you. So that's the difference between proactive and reactive. So let's look at this aspect of being proactive a little more. To be proactive means to have the capacity to subordinate, to have the capacity and desire to subordinate your feelings, your moods, the impulses, and the conditions that you have. If you are able to suppress them so that your values, your true values, are reflected and prevail in all conditions, then that is what we call being proactive. Ability to ensure that your values prevail in all conditions of feelings, moods, conditions, and whatever the circumstance. As such, proactive people make and keep promises. You don't promise what you can't manage. They also treat people with kindness. These days they say you need to be nice. So we should say proactive people are actually nice people. And most importantly also is that when you are proactive, we learn to carry our own weather with us. Hey, in life, there's another aspect called stimulus and then response. So we need to understand these words. So a stimulus is an environmental change or condition. For example, somebody steps on you. That's a stimulus. So what do you do? So what you do is actually a response. So we have a stimulus and then we have a response. And let's understand something new here. Now, between the stimulus and the response, there is freedom to choose. Freedom to choose the response. So if somebody has slapped you or stepped on you, that is the stimulus. So what do you do next? Is the response. But before you do it, there is freedom to choose. To choose what you're going to do, to choose the response. And most cases we don't utilize that gap. And in that freedom to choose, there are 4 endowments. All of us are endowed with 4 gifts. One is self-awareness. You know yourself. Before you respond, you know yourself first. 2, imagination. You have to imagine, if my response is A, what will be the consequence? Conscience. Conscience is decide wrong and right. And then we have independent will, the freedom to do whatever you want. So between the stimulus and the response, you must understand yourself, self-awareness. You must imagine the possible consequences. You must be able to use your conscience before you can choose the right response. So it's between the stimulus and response, there is freedom to choose. And we can utilize that freedom to choose the right response for a given stimulus. Got it? So, what's the difference between proactive people and reactive people on the basis of stimulus response challenge? So when you are reactive, or somebody who's reactive, when a stimulus occurs, there is no gap to choose the response. The stimulus response. You slap, I slap. Step, step. Abuse, abuse. So that is being reactive. There is no gap to choose the response. But what about if you are proactive? So a proactive person has the stimulus, and then he has ability to choose the response. So the difference here is the capacity. That when you are reactive, you do not have the capacity to choose the right responses to scenarios. When you are proactive, you have an endowed capacity which can actually be developed over time to make the right responses to given stimuli. In fact, in some cases, did you know that the right response might even be not to respond? How about that? So, I have a question here. When a snake bites you, a poisonous snake, what do? 2 scenarios here. The first person chooses to pursue the snake and kill it. After all, when it dies, to stop disturbing us, to no longer bite. Another one chooses to first give aid to himself, to tie the wound and do the first aid. Of the 2, whom would you prefer? The one who pursues the snake after biting him, or the one who treats himself first? I think we would go with person 2. That if a snake bites you, you first give yourself a break to get treatment, and maybe allow others to pursue the snake on your behalf. What happens if you chase it? You might get hurt the more. Now this takes me to another question. But what really hurts us? And from analysis, we realize that what hurts us is actually not what people do to us. Yes, what hurts you is not what that person did to you. No. It's actually your chosen response to their action that hurt you the more. Otherwise, you could actually choose not to be hurt. You could choose otherwise. I was reading my Bible and I learned one thing. There was a story about Jesus and Simon Peter and the group. The first time Jesus met Simon Peter and his team, In fact, these were fishermen. We met them at the shores. They were complaining. They were not catching any fish, and yet they had worked all day, all night, and things were not working out. So he gave them advice, and the advice was, take the boat to the deeper waters and cast your nets deeper. And when they did that, they got overwhelming numbers of fish. For us to learn in our day-to-day life, those who are students, if things are not working out, probably you might be fishing on shallow waters. How about if we went to the deeper waters and cast our nets deeper? Maybe we will be able to catch the fish. The deeper or shallow waters is either your behavior, your capacity, or simply mental creation. And we'll look at it a little bit more next time. We shall expound more. If you have liked this video, please subscribe and share this channel to other friends as well. This is going to be a center for learning, mental coaching, and also online teaching. Thank you.